I want to talk about equality because I think it's a really, really helpful thing to get clear about, and it's actually profound. There is no equality between bodies and between persons. You cannot feel equal as a body to another body. You can't feel equal as a person to another person, even spiritually, even if you are practicing A Course in Miracles and you are reading in A Course in Miracles that all like the mind is equal and Son of God is equal and all of that. We are all the Christ, I am equal. And I think that actually is a defense against mind training and against learning and against what Jesus is maybe using to teach us the lessons of humbleness and letting go of authority, problem and control and many things, and even in intimate relationships. And we can have an example. For example, let's say a person had a certain experience. Let's say there is a job offer and a person had a certain experience, a longer experience or a very specific experience, and this person's experience is perfect for this job to be done. But I didn't have that experience, and I'm not that competent because I don't have the context of the whole picture. But I want to feel equal. And I have this idea that we are equal. So I act as if I am competent. I act as if I had an experience. And I say that, oh, me and this person are equal. There is no difference between us. We can answer the same questions. So I pretend and act as if I am more competent than I am, that I had the same experience, the same context. But actually what is underneath this attempt is guilt and unworthiness. Because if I realize that they had more experience, they have more context, more specific knowledge, then the ego feels less. And that is the sense of guilt, sense of unworthiness. The ego feels like it's a piece of shit. Ego is saying to us, you are a piece of shit because this person knows more than you. So it gives us the solution. Okay, now for you not to feel the sense of being a piece of shit, being unworthy, being guilty, being not good enough, everything that is the belief in the ego, for you not to feel that, this is what the ego is giving us as a solution. It says, now use the idea of equality so that you can feel better about yourself as a person. And pretend that you know. Pretend that you have the answers. Pretend that you are competent. And this same very thing is happening in spirituality. And underneath this attempt, underneath this idea of equality that we are so desperately trying to reach, is actually guilt and the sense of unworthiness that we are not facing, that we are avoiding to face, we are avoiding to see. Now, we are not asked to undo the guilt. It's not our job. It is Holy Spirit's job to undo the guilt. But we are asked not to hide it. We are asked to look at it. We are asked not to pretend that it's not there. Because our whole personality, the whole perception of the world is built on guilt. So if we are practicing A Course in Miracles, our practice is actually looking at this, being willing to look at this, and being willing for it to be undone for us. So if we are into spirituality, but then we use the idea of equality to feel better about ourselves, then we are actually opposing the very thing that we are practicing. We are actually not doing what we are to practice. We are actually lying to ourselves, and most importantly, we are falling into the ego's trap, and we are, in a way, delaying our healing because we are not honest, because we think it's all about undoing. Spiritual awakening, practicing A Course in Miracles is all about undoing. So when we use this idea of equality, pretending that I do know something, I do have the context, I am competent, then actually we are not doing A Course in Miracles. Because the truth is, everyone has a gift. And there are the ones who has gone before us, who did mind training longer than us, who have the experience and the knowledge that we have not went through yet. We don't have that was not our part to play. That was not our part to gain that knowledge, to gain that context. But our part is to be humble enough to learn from their experience. And not to pretend that I know the same amount that they know. It's actually, we don't have to think like that. We have different kind of gift. We have our own gift to give. But if I pretend that I have the same mind training that someone else has, that I'm actually not looking at my own gift, and I'm not giving the gift that I have, that is given to me, and I'm too busy pretending to give something that I cannot give. So there are the ones to learn from. In that way, there are teachers to learn from, because they've done this before me and for so long, and in such a different, miraculous ways that I have not done it yet. So why would I want to pretend that I know that and remove myself from the solution of learning it, from the opportunity to listen and learn and to find out more, and to undo the ego that we are all doing, that we are all joining in. You know, we are not doing separate things. We all are doing the same thing. We are all undoing the same ego. That's what simplifies the process. Because the ego thoughts that I have, you have the same ego thoughts. So if someone has a way to deal with these thoughts and not believe in them, if someone had very practical experiences of not buying into the ego, then I of course want to find out about it. And this very thing can show up in intimate relationships. If I want to find this sense of equality with this person by pretending that I have the same gift that they have, I'm actually are trapped in the ego. I'm not actually using this relationship for the purpose that Jesus has for it. Because Jesus is all about bringing our defenses down. This is what Jesus is using relationships for. It's for exposing the ego. And not everyone is in the same dynamics in the relationships, for example. For example, you may be in a relationship with someone who is not practicing the same thing, but let's pretend that we are in a relationship that we are practicing the same thing. Then it becomes all about exposing the ego, not defending, trying to be defenseless, and being honest and taking responsibility for our state of mind, and looking where we are pretending and exposing it and being honest in a way that we take responsibility, using this relationship for that, and in a way using in a helpful way the other person's attention to expose the ego rather than reinforce it and build something, build a person, build a concept in this world. And for the ego, this process can be devastating. It feels very threatening for the ego. That's why relationships are such a powerful way of healing. But it's threatening for the ego because it is exposing its games, its tricks. And the ego does not want to do it, but we are here to do it. Because we are able to look at this idea of manipulation, of control, of superior and inferior in such a deep way, using relationships that you would not be able to get in touch with that depth of belief. You will not be able to go to the foundation, to the root of the ego, without using relationships like that. You will not be able to have that kind of undoing by using equality in on a surface level. You are not equal to me, I'm not equal to you. This is nonsense, this idea, this way of thinking. There are no equal people. You can find equality, true equality, only through going to the root of the ego and taking it out and releasing Christ's power in our mind. Then you know that you are everything, you are everyone, it's you, it's only you. So in a way, the idea of equality is nonsense because there is nothing to be equal to. An idea of equality is shared in a context that we are all equally Christ. But as we mind training, as we train our mind, as we learn how to do this, then we need help. We need to learn. We can't pretend. We need to face ourselves. This guilt that is underneath everything. It's underneath everything. As long as we believe in the perception, there is guilt. And we are asked to look at it because it's not real. And the ego has built many games to defend the guilt. All our lives we've spent time to avoid uncomfortableness, avoid feeling guilty. We people please, we compromise to avoid feeling guilty. That's the ego's game. The ego is using spiritual ideas to avoid feeling guilt and unworthiness, and sense of not being good enough, the sense of I am less than something else or someone else. This has to be looked at and seen as what it is. But as long as you are playing on this surface level of games and using these ideas and to avoid to distract our attention, to pull our attention into something else, or pull our attention into the person being something or someone, and not going there, not looking at it, then actually we are not doing the work. We're just distracting from the ego. And undoing sometimes and oftentimes feels disorienting and destabilizing. You feel shaken. But that's good, the ego is shaken. We have to be shaken out of our thinking, out of our body, ego identification, personal identification. That doesn't have mean that it has to be intense, but there is certain sense of disorientation. And this certain sense of something is being threatened, and we have to learn the trick. Jesus never gives you the sense of threat. There is nothing to defend from Jesus' perspective. So when we say it's for the undoing, the ego feels threatened and shaken. And then we want to feel, no, I want to feel stable. I want to feel solid. But Jesus says there is nothing solid in this world. If you think that you are standing on the ground, solid ground, you are delusional. So you see, we don't actually recognize our own best interest. We have no idea what is best for us. And we have no idea what is awakening. And that is why we have to be willing to learn as much as we can.